Right, so we have the official patch notes for Year 8 Season 4 Operation Deep Freeze. There's quite a lot of balancing in this. Some you may have expected, some of them you probably didn't expect. And there's also some updates to the playlist such as Quick Match and Standard, which I'm sure a lot of you are probably going to like. So I'm just going to go straight into these patch notes talking about what the new changes are, and yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. So for starters, Mira has received a nerf. Her bulletproof glass on her Black Mirror windows can now be shattered by Ash and Callie. So if you don't know, if you punch one of Mira's windows, it will shatter it and no one can look through it. Well, this has now been updated to Ash and Callie's gadget, meaning that you can now shatter Mira's window from range, which is pretty significant. Take the example of Bunker or an Oregon. People very commonly put a mirror window in an electrical room to watch anyone pushing Bunker, and to clear that mirror, you either have to get up close and personal and punch it, or pop the canister. Well, now you can just bring in Ash or Callie and shoot the mirror window from outside and it will shatter it. This is a massive nerf. Now, of course, you're going to then have to bring Jaegers and Wamai to sort of protect this mirror window even more, but I definitely think this is going to have a massive effect on Mira, and I'm interested to see how she's going to perform after this change. So, a buff to Ash and Callie and a nerf to Mira. Now, these next ones are a little bit simple. Simply, Osa has received the frag grenades in place of her smoke grenades. Now, smoke grenades are actually very useful in Osa, but I've been running EMP impacts as well, and that's still going to be an option, but now she also has the option of the newly reworked frag grenades, and I think that's just going to be a very good tool for Osa. She's already a very strong operator, and this is just going to give you another avenue on how you're going to play her. I think it's going to be quite interesting as an Osa player myself. Capitao is receiving the EMP impact grenade as a third option, so it's not replacing any of his current secondary gadgets. Pretty cool. It's probably going to get Capitao played a bit more as well, sort of in the role I think a lot of people would play Osa and like Lion in, bringing the EMP impacts. I think Capitao is already an extremely strong operator, so now even pushing him more into the meta of a meta he's already part of is going to be extremely good. He also has the option of hard breach as well, so this just gives him even more versatility. Because think of Clubhouse, you bring EMPs for the main wall when attacking CC, and you also bring a Capitao to clear out rafters. Capitao can now do the jobs of two roles when attacking that bomb site, and I'm sure there's so much more he can do, especially with EMPs now. Moving over to Lion, they've removed his EMP impact grenades and given him frag grenades, and they've also removed the Gun 6. Now, the Gun 6 was expected to go if he was gaining nades, because Ubisoft have said in previous notes that they don't want any operator to have Gun 6 and nades in the same loadout. That being said, I was actually a massive fan of Lion EMPs and Gun 6 as a loadout, so this is actually going to change how I play Lion. Frag grenades is going to be a very nice addition to his loadout. However, I was a fan of the EMP and Gun 6 loadout, so I don't know if I can call this a buff personally. I mean, frag grenades are great, but for what he's lost for it, I don't know if I can call it a buff. But then again, it's Lion at the end of the day. Does he need that much, utility in his loadout for a gadget which is already a pretty Mickey Mouse cheese gadget, if we're going to be honest? So yeah, Lion nades. I guess we'll see how it goes. Next up, we have Grim. They have removed his breaching charge and given him EMP impacts. For the most part, I get this. He doesn't massively need the breaching charge because he has the bailiff. Of course, the bailiff can't do everything a breaching charge can, but you do have that aspect of soft destruction already, and people were mainly running the hard breach charge on Grim anyway, so this isn't a massive loss, and I think EMP impacts is just, once again, going to give him more of a diverse role, and you'll be able to do a lot more things with Grim now. Next up, we have IQ. She finally has her frag grenades back, although they are a bit different than they were before. IQ finally has nades once again in Rainbow Six Siege. Very exciting. I hope more people pick up IQ, because especially in a meta where Valkyrie and all these other electronic gadgets on defense are so prominent, IQ being able to spot all of them is going to be very useful, and hopefully people synergize her with Brava more, and hopefully IQ just gets more play in the meta. Next up, we have Blackbeard, an operator I sadly play. His EMP impacts have been replaced with frag grenades. As someone, like I said, who plays Blackbeard, and I do run the EMP impacts on them, I actually think I would prefer frag grenades in this situation, because, like, I don't know, take a billiards window on Coastline, for example. I like to play that window as Blackbeard, so having grenades in my pocket to clear people out of positions, maybe clear some utility, is actually going to be really useful for me when I'm playing on a window to sort of push people out of positions and then get that line of sight on them as they're rotating. So I honestly think frag grenades are going to fit really well in Blackbeard's pocket, and Blackbeard with frag grenades, it just feels right. I don't know, the way you play Blackbeard, I feel like frag grenades makes a lot of sense in his pocket, and yeah, I'm actually really excited to do this as a Blackbeard player. Next up, we have Sense, probably regarded to as one of the worst attackers. I think they have a place in this game, I just think they haven't found it yet, but I am interested to see how they go in the future. However, Sense has also received frag grenades, and with the same logic logic is lying, they have also lost the gun 6. Not really much to say there. It's going to be good in Sense's pocket. And again, I just want to see this operator fit into the game more, and I do think they have a place. Now, the final bit for the operator section is Maestro. They have changed him around a little bit. Of course, I made a video about a Maestro rework the other day because Maestro is just not great. He's fallen from grace. Ever since he came out, he has just gotten weaker and weaker to the point where right now, he's not really much better than a standard bulletproof camera. Well, they have changed him around a little bit. Firstly, I don't actually understand what this first bit they're saying is. It says drilling projectiles will shatter the bulletproof glass when exploding if they hit on the glass. So what I think they're saying this, if you use Ash and Callie and you directly shoot your gadget at the glass of his camera, it won't destroy his camera, only shatter the glass. I think that's what they're saying here. I don't know, I kind of wish they went a little bit more in depth. At the time of recording, I can't access a test server. I actually think Ubisoft servers are down, so that's not ideal. But yeah, I'm not really sure what this means. This might be something we have to investigate a little bit more when the test server comes out, but I assume this is a good thing. The next one is that they have increased his active time to 6 seconds, up from 5, meaning that you can just use his gadget for an extra second before it does its little burnout sort of timer thing. But to coincide with this, the cooldown is also going to be an extra second as well. So you're going to get more usage out the gadget, but it's also going to have a longer cooldown. Now, this next part is probably the biggest part here. He has 3 evil eyes now, up from 2. Will this make Maestro a broken operator? No. Will it put him ahead of bulletproof cameras a little bit? Possibly. 3 evil eyes is very strong, and it is going to take more utility now to clear them because there is more on the board now. But I think it is a bit too early to say if this is going to make Maestro, you know, more relevant again. It's definitely a buff, you know, there's no doubt about that. But is this still going to be an issue where people can just easily clear these evil eyes? And despite having an extra one, people aren't going to bother much about bringing Maestro. Again, I'm not sure, too early to see, but it is nice to see that they aren't leaving Maestro behind and they are attempting to buff him. Next up, we have some weapon balancing. The 5.52 Commando, which is the Commando for Grim and IQ, has had a damage reduction. It now does 43 HP per bullet, down from 47. And as well as this, they've added stronger vertical and horizontal recoil. If you're not aware, when they buffed extended barrel, this made the 5.52 Commando a 2-shot weapon. So it seems like they're just toning it down a bit. Not really sure why they're giving it more recoil. I mean, I know it kind of has no recoil currently, but it wasn't a massive issue, I don't think. So I'll have to try this out before I give a final judgment on it. And of course, the frag grenade bit, you all probably know about this one, but you can't cook them anymore. The fuse timer is now down to 4 seconds. However, if you bounce it off an object or like a wall or the floor, it will go down to 2 seconds. The same way stun grenades work. So frag grenades are still going to be extremely strong. And the fact that way more operators have it now, you know, it's going to be interesting. It's still going to be a very meta secondary gadget. Now, there's some new stuff about maps and game health, and we're going to go through this section quite quickly because, you know, we don't have to go too in deep with it. But for starters, they've reorganized player information in the top menu of the main menu, and there's also a new display of the squad status. I assume this means player squad, not like operator squad. So just like a little UI update there. They've added Hereford Base, Plane, Yacht, Fortress, Emerald Plain, Stadium, Nighthaven Labs, and the new map Layer to Quick Match. And they've also updated a lot of the pre-reinforcements and rotations with the Quick Match 2.0 thing. Standards map pool is going to be the same as ranked, meaning that it's basically going back to being unranked minus the map bans. So I think that's a good change. I think standards kind of poor right now. So I think it's good that it's going back to sort of being the same as unranked. So it's got the same map pool as ranked, which you all probably know, but there has been an update to the map pool of ranked, and that is the fact that the new map Layer has been added to ranked and standard. However, Stadium Bravo has been removed from ranked. As someone who gave Stadium a try and actually wasn't very against it, I thought it was alright. I'm a bit sad to see it go, but I understand and I'll accept it, and you know, it's fine in casual, I guess. Free for all, they have added impact grenades and the hatch climb ability. Don't know why they've added that. Impact grenades ruin those modes, to be honest, because all the walls are open within the next like 5 minutes, so I'm not a fan of that. They've added Layer and removed Stadium to free-for-all, Deathmatch. They've added Layer to Golden Gun. They've added Layer and removed Stadium from Weapon Roulette. I don't know why they're removing Stadium from the arcade modes. Come on, it's not that bad a map for arcade. Leave it in arcade at least. And of course, Layer will be unbannable for the next season. Until Year 9 Season 1, you won't be able to ban Layer in Ranked, which I think is good. And there's also a tiny little bit here about the new Fidelity option, where you can get higher resolution and it favors performance. You know, a nice option to get. But yeah, those are the Year 8 Season 4 patch notes. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about what one of these sort of stick out to you most. What are your thoughts? Be sure to subscribe for more Rainbow Six content. Have an incredible rest of your day. I love you all. Stay safe. Peace.